Hi, and welcome back to the Digital Jobsite for the second of two parts in the Paint Scheming with SketchUp blog post at the Digital Jobsite blog at finehomebuilding.com. In the first part of the first video of this series, I talked about these different room models that were used to assess different paint layout scheme configurations and make a choice of the best layout before dipping a paintbrush. And this video I want to talk a little bit about the process for creating these extra iterations of the design scheme to make choices. And let's see, I'm going to turn off the shadows and then take these models here. Just going to move them back out of the way, and then I will hide them. That way they're out of the way, they're not slowing down the program, but if we need something out of those models, we can take a look at them and wake them back up and use parts of them. But to go through some of the steps, just a quick overview. Took this first model and just created a box, pulled it up, and then by deleting this corner I wipe out all those walls at once. There's a room, you can just add paint colors to that room pretty simply. You can make that room to match the size of the room you're using, or it can just be a generic size to think about the different paint colors and locations of different accents. In the first video I talked a little bit about getting the wall colors, and by using the material bucket and selecting the colors from the drop down list there, I took a paint chip from the paint store, held it up to the computer monitor, and picked a color that looked pretty close. Oh, let's see, it was one of these brown ones, I'm not sure which one, maybe this one. And then by selecting that color, actually I'm a little horsed up here, by selecting this color and then editing the color and using the color selector, I use this one to adjust the color from the SketchUp materials to match the paint chip, and got pretty close to what it would take to match that color. So it was a simple process. I did the same with the carpet, and just picked out of the materials, carpet and textiles, and just picked something, I don't remember which one it was, probably this one, something that was close. Then just go into the edit and you can make that carpet look pretty much like any sample that you have. It's a quick process to match things up to convey the idea. So that's all simple enough to get it and color it. For this particular job, I created a quick door component just by using the offset tool and a material as a cherry finish on there, and pretty simple to do. Create one representative geometry that represents a door, and on the further models I added another one on the other wall. That was the basics. The desk came from the components. Just went to the component warehouse. This still says Google, it should say SketchUp, but it should say Trimble, and just put in computer desk and do a quick search. Well, quicker search if your internet connection is faster than mine. But picked a desk out of this list, something that was simple but that would convey the idea, and it must have been this one. It was drawn by SketchUp, and we appreciate them sharing their model. But just downloaded one of those directly into the model, did some editing on it in further steps. And this is a slow process. I'm going to get out here as quick as I can. There's the Trimble warehouse, but anyways, pretty simple. Download a model, puts it right in your model. If you're doing your drawing to scale, it'll fit to scale already in the model. And pretty simple to use, those features. But as the discussion went on for this paint scheme, we talked about moving the paint stripe, and because I just created it in SketchUp, this is just geometry, you can do anything you want with it, and in this case, to create another model, I moved it up. But because I still wanted to look at the existing one, I just selected this whole geometry, took the move tool, hit the control key, gives you another model just like the one you started off with. This one would just drag around the stripe. I'm going to get just the stripe, and then I just moved it up. Pretty simple. As long as I move straight in the blue direction, it won't distort the geometry like you can see is going on here. So I can just move it up, and oops, I jumped off of vertical. Hold the shift key and move this straight up. I can kind of put it wherever you want, give it a different idea. And then I think on another model, I took this door component. Here I'm hitting the control key and move the door over. It's trying to snap to things. Let's say I wanted to make the room a little wider. I'm going to grab this geometry, move it over a few feet. Take this door in the back of the geometry. I'm going to draw this circle, or draw this area. Delete all these extra faces so that it doesn't Z-flash like that. Still getting a door in there. I'm just going to take a line. Hit control, move this line over to the door. Hit control again, move the line over to the other side of the door, and then I can erase these lines. So a few mouse clicks, I've got another door on the other wall. I can move the desk. Simple thing. If that desk isn't big enough, grab the scale tool. You can stretch things out. You can go into this component even though it's from the component warehouse, and by selecting surfaces and the material bucket. This time if I choose wood out of the materials, it's simple enough to pick some wood out of here, color the desktop, edit the material. You can see how I made the ash in the desk just by lightening these things up. There's some weird looking ash. But that's the process to change it and make your model adapt and look like the room you're working on. And this is all pretty simple. If we decided to switch colors around here, I'm just using the control key, making another one of these models, and then we can go in and switch the colors around by selecting. We can select this color and change the wall to that color, select the stripe color. Just a simple process to switch these colors around, and if I didn't want that one, there we go. So by doing that, I can switch the colors to any configuration that I want. If I want to use the colors that are in the model, I can just pick them off that list. But with a few clicks, we can create any different paint layout between those two models. We just switch the colors around. You can see how quickly that's done. And one of the other iterations I did was from the original model and added, holding down the shift key here, infers that wall. I get this other wall here. You can just do any number of modifications you see. I'm going to see what happens if I take that stripe out. That was a little too serious. Didn't want to do that. But if we take and select and deselect some of this geometry, I'm holding down the shift key and deleting things. Yep, lost the walls. Getting a little too careless here with my clicking, but you can see by creating more models and little creative geometry, you can come up with any variation on the configuration you can think of. And then by going back into the materials, selecting the little house shows what's in the model. I can just put those colors back in anywhere I want. I drew a window on this other wall and made some of those changes. So there's plenty you can do. Pretty simple to work through these different techniques and come up with all manner of configurations and choices without having to buy paint and start painting on the wall. So anyways, I hope that's complete enough, give you an idea of some of the possibilities for simplifying the paint scheming process by using SketchUp. Thanks for watching the Digital Job Site, and you can check out my YouTube channel, the Timber Tailor's Digital Job Site channel, for other videos for using SketchUp for practical purposes on projects you may be working on in your job or your spare time. Thanks for watching the Digital Job Site.